Hello everybody, my name is Hello. Welcome back to the series where we're dealing with Flutter programming. We're trying to demystify a lot of the concepts, a lot of the widgets, and trying to show you how really simple Flutter actually is. Today we're going to be dealing with the stack widget. Maybe this code seems a bit overwhelming right now, but we're going to be trying to reconstruct what you see to the right. So a stack widget in Flutter is basically positioning widgets one on top of the other. To give a simple quick demo about this, we're going to be positioning squares on top of each other. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and exit all of this code so that all this goes away. We can start from scratch. So first of all, as always, how we start Flutter codes, we just need to start with this material dot dot so that we can use a lot of this functionality, and then will be the void main function so that we can go ahead and run our code, and this will simply just run app. And then inside this, let's go ahead and create a constant my app, and this will be the first line. And once I am able to do this, I'm actually the constructor is being called isn't a constructor. That's because we have to give what my app is. So let's go ahead and create a stateless widget, call this my app, and this will be the widget. From there we're going. Okay, so this is not needed. I think from there we can just go ahead and save this. You can see we have an empty screen. Everything is awesome. This is a placeholder. So instead of this placeholder, let's go ahead and return our stack widget. So before that, let's go ahead and create a stateless widget first, which will be our stack widget. So maybe I can call this stack widget. Okay, from here maybe I can change my stack widget. Yeah, something like that, right? And here again a placeholder is returned. From now here, what we'll do is in this return statement right here, let's go ahead and return a constant material app. Since this is a stateless widget, we can just return a constant so that we can save a lot of memory and make this more efficient. Here I'm going to go ahead in the home parameter, I'm going to go ahead and return this stack widget, right? That is done. And I can just save now. You can see the placeholder is gone, but this placeholder is there. Okay, so from there, let's go ahead and return a material app again. So this will be a material app, right? And then I'm going to just add some constant Flutter stuff, a scaffold, and inside that I'm going to add an app bar with our Flutter widget example. So this is just constant regardless of whatever Flutter application or program you're doing. From there, let's go ahead and add a body, and inside this body I'm just going to create an empty center widget for now. Maybe I can do this, and let me see, I have to add one more bracket so that all of this matches each other. I'll just run this quickly. You can see that our app bar is there, and inside this is where we're going to be, inside the center is where we're going to be going ahead with our stack widget. So for the stack widget, let's go ahead and create a child, and this is called stack. Now when you're dealing with the stack, you're going to be having a few arguments that you have, which is again constant. We'll just go over that first. So first, something that you have to do is clip behavior. That is, by default, your every widget in Flutter will have its own dimensions. So what happens if some position or some widget in your stack crosses your stack's dimension? So let's just clip this to none so that we don't have to clip anything there. Then you have fit, which is also another argument that you need to have. And here just put stack fit dot pass through. Again, you have a lot of stuff here. You have stack fit dot expand, stack fit dot pass through, and stack fit dot lose. I think this is simply saying how you want to fit the elements inside your stack. Pass through means fit everything as it is. Again, this is something that we'll be going over again so that you guys can get that one also cleared out. And then the final one you have is alignment. Just go ahead and put alignment directional dot bottom center. Okay, this is just aligning wherever unpositioned elements are there or widgets are there in your stack. How you're going to be aligning this, we're going to be doing that based off the bottom center. Then you'll have your child, and children, which is again a list, not child, because a stack will have multiple elements, as we discussed before, one on top of the other. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some children to our stack. Let's start with a container, and maybe I'll just go ahead with a height 200 with 200, and maybe we'll give it a color also. So color will be colors dot green, right? So maybe, okay, I misspelled colors. Insert colors dot green. So this should be good. If I just go ahead and run this code, you can see that a box is created 200 200, and since this is wrapped in a center widget, we get it in the center of the screen. Now let's go ahead and add more elements on top of this. Let me add another container and just copy this and paste this again. And I'm going to change this to colors.yellow. Okay. And I'll save this. So this exactly on top of this, it's 200, 200. Maybe that's why you don't see this as two different things. Maybe I'll go ahead and reduce this back to maybe 100 and 100. Okay. Now if I go ahead and save this again, you can see that unpositioned elements are in the bottom center of the stack. This is what we were talking about. Okay. This is an unpositioned element, and in stack, you can actually position your elements using and wrapping this up with the positioned maybe you can wrap with a widget, and here I'm actually going to add the positioned widget. Okay, in the position widget you actually have a few parameters. From the top you can say I want to move this by X, from the right, from the left, from the bottom you can move that by some pixels. Okay, so you have 200 into 200. From the top I'm going to move this 50. From the right I'm going to move this second widget that we have here, the container. I'm going to move this by again 50 pixels. Now if I save this back, you can see that from the right it has moved 50. From the top if it has moved 50 down. If we have changed this to maybe 70, you can see that it's a bit more down. Okay, this is a widget. Okay, now again we can add another positioned widget here. Maybe I can change the height and the width. Maybe we can set this to 50-50 so that we can have another element on top in our stack to make this a bit better. Maybe I'll change the color to blue, and this one, if I do the same 50-50, you can see that from the top it's 50, from the right it's 50, but I want this more in center. Okay, so how you do that is you'll divide whatever this value is there by 2 again. So 50 is what you have here positioned, and you want maybe 50 more. If you do 50 more, this is 100 is the entire width, right? So if I actually do 100 here, you can see that it goes to the full bottom. So I don't want 50 full top, 100 is full bottom. I want somewhere in between. That's where I said divide this by 2 again and add that. So you'll get 75, and then 75, I save this. You can see that we have 3 elements, one on top of the other, and there you go. This is the stack widget. We're able to do 3 different containers, one on top of the other. Now let's go ahead and something I'll show you here. Instead of this stack fit.passthrough, which is simply saying I want to do 200 into 200, and that keep that as the stack's dimensions, and that's what passthrough really says. If I change this to expand, what really happens is it expands to the full screen. That is the actual dimensions of the stack. Rather than me expanding this, I'll just set this to passthrough. So again, you have a lot of different parameters here also. So instead of bottom center, I'm going to do top center, and what I'll do is I'll add another position container without a position, and maybe we can change this to 100. I can change this to red. You can see that it aligns to the top center. Okay, so I hope, I mean, on top of this we have the other 3, so a lot of it is being clipped over here. But I hope you're able to understand what that parameter does. Also, well, that's Flutter Stack widget for you. I hope you're able to understand this and you're able to understand how we're constructing this code. If this video helped you, hit that like button. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then,